Hi, how are you doing today, Caitlin?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. How was your break?
It was awesome. I just got back from Florida.
Ooh, I'm jealous.
You should be.
Lots of snow. No sunshine up here for us.
That sucks.
All right, so today what we're going to do to start off the semester, real nice and easy, we're going to do the self-assessment form. Basically, this is going to help me see where you could use some improvement and look at some of the areas where you and I can work together this semester. So what I'm going to have you do is go ahead and read through each statement and fill out 1 for never through 5 for always. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And then go ahead and write your name on it. And after that, what I'm going to have you do up here in the corner is just put a number 1 through 10 as far as how satisfied you were with your first semester in the fall. Okay?
Okay.
All right. All right, now that you're finished, let's take a look at this real quick. All right, so I see that you have some lower scores in campus orientation as well as goal setting, and then reading textbooks. Other than that, you look like you've been doing pretty well. So to start off with campus orientation, how come you put 1s for these? Do you feel like you don't typically did you go to any of the social events last semester?
No.
Okay. And it says you belong to a clever organization. Which one do you belong to?
Emerging Leaders.
Is that the only one?
Well, also the honors program.
Honors program? Okay, so you are a little bit involved. Do you know what the math, writing, and reading centers are?
No.
Okay. So the math center is on the 4th floor Lincoln Building on Lincoln Avenue. And it's basically a tutoring center for math. So you can go in there and do your homework.
Is it free?
It is free. As long as you bring your student ID, it's totally free.
Oh.
So is the writing center. They'll take papers from you and take a look at them and make sure your grammar's good and help you make the paper a little bit better and more clear.
Okay.
And then general tutoring is housed within the CSP. So that's for all the other subjects in addition to like writing and math.
Mm-hmm.
You can get tutors for psych, you can get them for soc, it doesn't really matter. We also do SI, which is supplemental instruction. That's where a student actually sits in the class with you who's already gotten an A, and then they'll run weekly study sessions with you. One thing I would definitely take a look at is make sure you're checking your email regularly, as well as following student activities on Twitter or Facebook. I know they post a lot on Twitter, just so you're aware when we have social things going on in the hub or on Lincoln Avenue. I know later this semester they're going to have that live on Lincoln event that they always have. So those are some things to keep in mind. Also, what I would recommend is, even though you are already into organizations, maybe take a look at the Simplicity website and scroll through and see if there's anything else, any other organizations that maybe you don't know about yet.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you some homework. Come back next week with 3 possible organizations that you might be interested in that we can take a look at, okay?
Okay.
And then for goal setting, you marked 1 for having long-term personal goals for the next 5 years, as well as setting goals you take into account your strengths, weaknesses, and values. So one of the things we can do this semester is work on your goal setting. Maybe we'll make a 5-year plan and take a look at some of those things. But what I'd like to do first, just so you kind of have a better idea of who you are and what your strengths and weaknesses are, is I'm going to have you take the My Plan test if you haven't already.
Okay.
I'll give you a card after that before you leave. But basically what it is it's an interest, personality, skills, and values inventory. And there's 4 different tests for each of those areas, and it definitely helps you learn a lot about who you are. It was one of the best things I did my freshman year as far as self-improvement and growth and just knowing myself as a person. And I think it's an important thing to do before you start setting goals, to have an idea of what those things are. So this week I'm going to have you take the My Plan and bring your results back next week that we can take a look at.
Okay.
And then finally you had low scores for reading. Was there a certain class that you had to do a lot of reading for that you just didn't, or?
Well, in my psychology class, we had to read our book, and I just never did that.
Okay.
So.
How did you do in psych?
I got a C in it, so not very well.
Okay. Do you feel like a lot of that was attributed to the fact that you didn't read the textbook?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that a lot of students find really difficult to do is jump into that textbook, because a lot of times it seems like the professor's going over a lot of information in class, And as long as you're doing well in that, you might think that you can do well on the test without reading the textbook. And in some classes that may be the case, but it's best to be safe and just read the textbook, especially to start off until you feel the class out. So maybe we'll take a look at some study habits and textbook reading habits that you can put in place to make sure you're doing those efficiently and getting the most out of your textbook. I mean, you're paying all that money, you might as well get the most out of it. And the last thing I wanted to take a look at is you marked 6 out of 10 for your last semester. Was there a certain reason for that, or?
Well, I did bad in math, but I didn't know we had a math assistance center, so I feel like if I knew, I probably wouldn't have marked a 6. And also, again, with the psychology, since I didn't read the book.
Right.
So, yeah, that's why I marked a 6.
Okay, well, hopefully with some of the things I talked about, and I'll keep this on file so we can refer back to it in the next couple weeks, we'll be able to bump that 6 up to like a 8 or a 9 for next semester or this semester.
Sounds good.
Good? All right.